So I thought I would share on my recent experience on how to get an Apple computer overseas. So recently when I was in Guatemala, I noticed my 2017 Mac started overheating, and I noticed that the screen started to kind of go white. Well, I immediately closed my computer calmly and started to Google on my iPhone what was happening. I Googled 2017 Mac Air white screen overheating. That was the gist of what I Googled. And immediately what came up is that apparently, which I figured this was the case, I wasn't the first one to experience this. And apparently the 2017 Mac Air can start to have overheating problems with time and with use because of some of the technology used. So officially, Mac has not deemed it to be a recall for obvious reasons. However, unofficially, it basically from different forums, posts, people that I saw that had experienced the same thing said, okay, start paying attention to where your computer even starts to get hot, shut it down so you don't add to the potential problem, and look to get it traded in and or get a new computer basically as soon as possible. So right away, I started to Google a couple things. So one, I went to the Apple site to see what my potential trade-in value was worth. That if I, traded in my Mac right away, what it was worth. And what came up was $300 to $400. Now, disclaimer, Apple can change this anytime. It depends on your computer wear and tear. No, this is not sponsored. However, I'm thinking what they might be thinking if they heard someone do a video like this, right? Side note, I'm also a CPA and I've done a ton with due diligence and risk, so it's just how my brain works. And so I thought, okay, it's worth it for me to do a trade-in, but let's see what's possible here in Guatemala and or in Mexico, which I knew was coming up after my Guatemala visit. And right away, I, looked to see if there was an Apple store in Guatemala, which there is not in anywhere. I did find that there's an iShop, an iStore, which is an Apple reseller that you can easily buy a brand new Mac. However, when I message them in the Facebook groups and communities, they don't accept trade-ins, which seems to be the case with any Apple reseller. So then I thought, well, when I was back in the States, Best Buy could accept trade-ins. So let me see if there's a Best Buy in Mexico or in Guatemala. Fun fact, all the all the Best Buy stores that were opened pre-pandemic in Mexico were shut down during the pandemic. So I thought, okay, well, that even possibility goes out the window. So then I Googled and found that there are Office Depots in Guatemala and Mexico. So I messaged an Office Depot and happened to come across one when I was in Cayala in Guatemala City and went in person to see if they would accept a trade-in, because normally Office Depot in the States would accept a trade-in for store credit. However, that's not the case because of being a different reseller, because of shipping to the States, so a number of different reasons. So then, in researching different blogs and researching different things that I found with similar situations with, people traveling the world, creators, bloggers having the same challenge, I found that typically it came up either go back to the States to do a trade-in and or go to an Apple store. So I said, okay, maybe I could fly to Miami, maybe I could fly to Houston, maybe I could fly to Atlanta and do that. And quickly I found, you guys, that the round trip ticket from Mexico or from Guatemala to Miami, when I was looking on any site, was about $1,000. So I thought, well, that doesn't make any sense, because if I'm gonna get a $300 or $400 trade-in, then I'm flying to the States and it's $1,000 plus my stay, depending on what state I go to, that makes no economical sense. So that went out the window. Then I thought, well, my friend Priscilla's coming to visit, or my friend Silvana's coming to visit. They can bring me a computer, but then again, what about the trade-in? I won't get the credit. And then, as you guys know, like, I can't be without a computer for X amount of time as a creator and entrepreneur. So then I thought, well, maybe there's an Apple store in Central America. And I Googled Apple Store Central America, Apple Store Guatemala, Apple Store Mexico. And I found that I think a year or 2 years before the pandemic, Apple opened a store, and actually now 2 stores, in Mexico City. So I thought, huh. So I started to go down that rabbit hole and found within Mexico City, Antara, at Antara Fashion Mall, I could absolutely get a new computer. I couldn't find anything on their site if they had a US keyboard, but I knew either the keyboard would be close, or worst case scenario, I could get it over, or I could get a new one shipped. And then I also looked on their site for the trade-in credit, and it was coming up that it would be between about $300 to $400. So then I thought, okay, let's think about safety, let's think about economical sense. And I saw the COVID cases within Mexico City were similar-ish to Atlanta. And I said, okay, I don't want to stay there a long time. I don't want to get stuck in a lockdown. I want to continue to stay here in Tulum. And so I said, well, I could fly in and out the same day. And I went to Volaris Air and found, like, with me leaving Tulum and the time it would take me to get to the airport and to be there in advance for the flight, and then flying back, I would have to basically leave either really, really early in the morning and or come back really, really late, which I didn't want to do for a number of reasons, just energy-wise, logistically. So I said, okay, I can spend a night. I found an adorable Airbnb in Mexico City with a rooftop jacuzzi, access to the community where you use privately. And I'll include that link in the show notes. And I found it was like a 2-story tiny house with beautiful light, bright colors and amazing reviews. So I thought, okay, that could work. And it was about $60. So that's well under the $400 trading credit. Then I said, okay, let's look at the flight costs with Volaris, which was the cheapest option I was finding. Round trip, with only taking my backpack with me on the flight, was right at about $80, including an add-on for insurance. So I said, okay, 80 plus 60, 140, still well under the trade-in value. Then I found that Apple would give me a 10% basically educator discount. Okay. Then I researched value add tax, VAT, because I realized, okay, well, if I'm purchasing in Mexico, I'm gonna have to pay it. No different than I would pay a tax or whatnot in the US, but I found out I can get that refunded and given back to me within 45 days of filing when I leave Mexico. So that's about $200, which added to the value of it being about $600. So I thought, okay, $600 versus $140, even with some food expenses, Uber expenses, let's just call it $200. $600, let's even say $250 versus $250. Being a difference of right at about $350? Yes, $350 to the positive. And so I said, okay, let me logistically figure this out. Let me leave the airport, go straight to the Apple store and assess the trade-in value, which right away it came up. I had an amazing girl help me named Alejandra. So you guys, I had an incredible experience at the Antara Fashion Mall Apple store. Absolutely incredible. Alejandra made all the difference. She was super awesome. She looked up the trade in value right away, and I had backed up my computer on the iCloud, And so I had everything ready. She came up with the $350, which led us to the next challenge, which was they did not have an American or US based keyboard in stock. So I could either get the Spanish keyboard, which was only slightly different, and or get the add-on keyboard cover. And because it's Apple, I could in the settings immediately set up US configuration. So when she said that yes, you'll get the $350 trade-in credit, but you can only use that gift card in the store. You can't use it on a mail-in computer with the American keyboard or US keyboard. And not only that, but I was like, well, how long would hypothetically, how long would the shipment take? You guys, 2 to 3 weeks. And not only that, but I later discovered, so thank God I didn't do that on average from Mexico City, things have been taking about a month to get to Tulum, on average. I just had a friend of mine, shout out to Silvana, thank you, ship me a Shine, S-H-E-I-N package from Atlanta because I thought I had international forwarding and I didn't. And it got to Mexico City on May 13th and I still don't have it. I just checked at the mail. And so likely, I hope and pray, I'll have it this Friday. So I didn't choose that option and I had Alejandra bring me the Mac Air with the Spanish keyboard and the US configuration so I could see it. And right away when I compared it, I could see it was only slightly different. And once you set up the US configuration, right away you start to figure out which keys, even though they may not look different, are the same as the US, so you really don't even need the cover. So anyway, long story short, I got the $350 credit, I got the keyboard, I got the computer from the Apple store in Mexico City at Antora Fashion Mall with the Spanish keyboard, set it up with the US configuration. It's been working great. And got the 10% online educator discount and got the paperwork. So make sure if you ever buy a computer overseas at any Apple store, I ask for the paperwork that breaks down the value added tax. And then when you're at the airport leaving, make sure you go extra early so you can do the paperwork, which shouldn't take that long, so you get the VAT credit. In Mexico, it's within 45 days on average, is what their disclaimer says. So comment down below, have you ever had your computer almost break down overseas, whatever the case is it happening to you now? Is this video helpful? I would love to know. And my fellow Apple lovers, users, it took me a while to convert. I didn't convert to the iPhone until iPhone 3. And I had a Sony tiny computer for years. And I ended up getting, I think, my first Mac Air in let's see, the last one was 2017. I think the one before that was 2014 or 2013 or 2012. So it took me a while to shift and transition. So in any event, comment down below, would love to know, and especially if this is helpful for you, because I know what it's like. It took me like a month and a half to walk through the process and get here and figure it out and book my flights and all the things, and there wasn't anything super helpful like this to help me, like a step-by-step guideline. So that's why I decided to do a video and also a blog and convert this to audio. So in any event, comment down below, subscribe, and chat soon. Bye.